of circular motion, thus defined by the octagon table of double-wide mental introspection, and dedicated utilitarian outward thinking in defense of zero content. Translation: we ain't got nothing. Got a slight problem here. I got a chicken fry. Actually, I got 2 chicken fries. Ow. Let me take care of those first. I haven't eaten yet, so chicken fries. Not my usual standard thing. I usually try to eat somewhat better, but sometimes it's just convenient fast food crap. But it is what it is. So, looking now at things. Actually, I got to get my my tablet going here. I actually didn't get the tablet locked in with the correct thing though. So let me just do that right now. Last bite of chicken fry. All right, that's really, really annoying when it does this. I truly, truly do not like autocomplete. Autocomplete is one of those obnoxious little things that just basically runs you around and it just makes you do stuff. Okay, it's blanking annoying when you really truly know what you want and it's just literally not doing it. All right, so let's go over here. That should not be the mobile Facebook site. That should just be Facebook, because I know of which I'm looking for here. So I'm logged in under desktop, which means even on an Android device, it should be recognizing it as desktop. Okay, that was the problem. It wasn't logged in as desktop. So annoying. So let me go back over here yet again and reboot. I really ran under the gun with just so much stuff to do that I literally just didn't have time for it. Okay. All right. Well, it's being annoying. I'm not going to blank with it anymore because it's just being annoying. Anyway, so let me scrolly. I have some very, very interesting news stories of which to bring up. Case in point, obviously the centermost point of our derision, the guy who's currently residing in the the Oval Office, as it were. Let me scrolly, keep myself honest. And I've got so much Joe Kaka stuff that, oh my stars and garters, I'm just overloaded to like crazy here. Patriot Fever, sir. Appreciate you coming on by tonight. Good stuff like that there. I don't know why my flag went weird. No, you're really not supposed to mess with flags. You're supposed to just put it on display, let them sit on Fubard and good stuff like that. Angry Farmer, appreciate you coming on by, brother. Take a swig off my libation there. Anyway, so looking at things as it is, I have got so many electronic devices going on right now. It is more than just a little bit crazy here. Okay, literally, I've got my home computer running on the YouTube side. So obviously that's the YouTube camera. Obviously on the Facebook side, so that's the Facebook camera. So I have 2 cameras side by side, 2 units running side by side, and basically good stuff like that there. Obviously 2 microphones, but then also on the right hand side, I've got my 1T. The 1T Note 9 that I built is running as a video recorder, so I can archive the video. If I need to hang it onto something else, I can do that. Hopefully the the sound designs of Sound Guy come through and we don't have a problem with just things going okay. I wasn't gonna say that, dude. No, I wasn't gonna say that, okay? I was gonna say something like it's just gonna go just That's what I was going to say. Okay, but sound guy jumped in there with the cough one because I don't know. Sometimes I really don't know why he just grabs things and pulls things out there. Okay. Patriot Fever says he's got the migraine and from the last week still persisting. Oh, sorry about the loud deliverance squeal. But it's just sound guy. Sound guy, and he'll be just don't do the ding, okay? No ding, okay? No ding. All right? No ding. We're good. No ding, no craziness. And most assuredly, I really don't want to hear we're back with the quacks again. So anyway, just he's gonna be pulling those things out there because he goes into the studio and he makes short little micro skits, as it were, and
the name's James.
Yeah, so dude,
put that thing back where it came from, or so help me.
Yeah, or you're just gonna have a little problem there, okay? Okay. Anyway, the deliberate squeal is better than the State of the Union. Oh man, you want to talk about wee? Yeah, that was. I think the funniest quote I heard yet was some host, and I want to say it was Alan West or somebody very notable, and I forget who it was, but they got into it and they said they lasted for like 8 minutes, and then they were just they were just done. I mean, the whole time they were watching it, they were like, where's the remote? He's still talking. Oh, I don't know if I can last. Oh, jeez, he's doing it. Oh, I gotta make it. There's only another 2 hours of this stuff. I can make it. Nope, I couldn't do it because, well, it just made me feel like
But I pooped from there.
Yeah, that was kind of pretty much my impression. Literally, I was listening to, I believe it was driving around doing XM or something, and just kicking around to like the various talk channels, and I think it went to Fox News or something, and it was just like, oh look, here's the State of the Union speech. It was like, not even like momentarily thinking about it, just hit that button and got the hell out to that part of the prescribed playlist, as it were. I just could not hang. Wow. Patriot Fever louder with Crowder was doing shots with every speaking flub. I'm sure Crowder was just wrecked. Oh man. The other thing too is also, you have the graphics rolling in front of you. You're reading speech. There's no way in the world that you can possibly miss it. You have these things rolling up in front of you, and no, the slick orator of which he was never ever, it was even more diminished to the current day. I mean, the other thing too is, you hear Joe Kaka talking when he was actually in office with Obama. He had, stream consciousness, and he could actually speak reliably, and he was able to do things. Now it's just like, everything just kind of conjitters, and he just loses cookies. Oh, wow. I mean, let me get a palate cleanser. I don't want to talk about him too terribly much for the moment. Let's get on to other things first. All right, so this news story is breaking from dailywire.com, and I cannot tell you how much I was wondering how long it was going to be before this one actually came out and everybody started doing it. But I have it on good notice now from Daily Wire. They say that 6 American former warfighters have volunteered to help fight for the Ukraine. And that's actually incorrect. When you say fight for the Ukraine, that's actually kind of saying something, because the Ukraine is stating as the borderline. The Ukraine translated just means borderline, kind of quasi-border state, but it's borderline. So if you say the Ukraine, you're saying the borderline. But if you're saying Ukraine, you're saying borderline, as in do not come here. This is ours. So anyway, Way Ship Informers has now come out to be that there are 6 Americans going to fight for Ukraine. And they're not saying the Ukraine. They're saying Ukraine. And they're taking up Zelensky's offer. So Zelensky's obviously kicking him some cash, saying, hey, man, come here, fight for us, play mercenary, good stuff like that there. That's not the end of the story, though. So they're getting ready to go over there and kick some Ivan ass. I also have it on good authority. There's some former Israeli IDF guys who are also going over there to Ukraine to fight some Ivan and kick some Ivan ass. Now, I've said this expressly just forever. There's a reason why the Israeli Defense Force is so good. Very simply put, they have to be. There is no falling back area. There is no, this is our second tier of existence. There is no, we can go here if things really go sketch. The Israeli Defense Force wins because they have to win. There is no other way around it. They have to win the battle every time, decisively. El Tender, grazie amico. How you doing today, brother? Appreciate you coming on by. Let's see. So anyway, we got those guys kind of channeling and sneaking in, and I cannot begin to tell you how great the videos are I've been seeing, but oh my stars and garters, holy crap. The videos I've been seeing of the Russian vehicles getting slaughtered by like missiles. Wow. Like there was a really good tank video I caught earlier, and there was another video I saw earlier of a helicopter cruising in, and his helicopter was like, he was doing it fast. He was coming in low and slow, or not at all. He was swooping in, keeping fairly close to the ground. You just see this missile launch off and tag him, and DRT, as in dead duck right there. So that stuff's coming out, and it's now being shown that the Russians, there's 2 things going on with the Russian troops right now. One, they were not told what was going on. The classic thing I've been hearing from any of the Russian troops is they're saying, yeah, we were basically told we're going out on a training mission. Not we're going to invade a sovereign nation right next to us. And also the other thing, too, is their morale sucks. I can tell you for a fact, there's nothing worse than being in a combat zone and you're going into what you thought was not a combat zone, but you're going into a combat zone, and then the buddy next to you basically falls over with a new hole in his body. And it's not even like, you were expecting it to happen, but you were just walking along, or basically on the back of a truck, and then dude is DRT. You're looking down going, well, snap, that wasn't in the rule book. That wasn't in the playbook. Where is this coming from? Then it comes out later that you find out third hand, oh, yeah, you're invading a sovereign nation that's a border state. Might not make the troops exactly all that just, yeah, let's go take these guys over and kick all major tail and blah, 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 blah. Well, the other thing, too, is also, if you look at the history of things, the Ukrainians and the Russians, they're almost like brothers. I mean, these guys are literally like so intermixed. Most Ukrainians actually really speak. They actually speak Russian. I mean, the Ukrainian language has been really, really diminished, and it's kind of sad, truly, because the languages are similar. They're not the same, but they are similar. And the thing about it is truthfully, the way it works is I'm just messing with my colors here on YouTube. I'm sorry, guys, but it's kind of being a little screwy here in terms of the colors and what have you. But anyway, it's like the 2 cultures are pretty intermixed. And the thing about it is, it's maybe a little better, but the problem is that the Putin side of things are saying, oh, you're going to take that country over. You got to show them who's who and what's fur and all that. That's not how it is, truly, because basically the Russian guys and the Ukrainian guys, they're really not that adversarial to one another. The biggest thing, of course, is obviously the Kiev or Kiev. I'm just going to say Kiev. I've always called it that. I'm not going to call it Kiev. Like all the news guys are now queuing on that one. But on the Kiev side of things and the Donbass side of things, really, that's kind of almost like, the North and the South, if you were, East and West. But it's basically almost like a civil war. It's not like a cold civil war. But the guys in Donbass, they're like, yeah, we like hanging out with the Russians more than the Ukrainians. And the Ukrainians are like, well, we really don't begrudge you for that. But you got to remember, you're still Ukrainian. You're not like a sovereign nation. You're not like the Eritreans and, the Ethiopians. We're not a two-state solution yet. Now, what I would say in my heart of hearts was what I would love to see, and this would possibly make things just a little bit better, is if they simply just kind of muted things down in terms of the actual combat with each other and said, okay, well, here's the deal. Putin, if it's not a two-state solution, this is the line. You do not cross this line. If you do cross this line, every single one of your guys that comes across here, we're going to send home in a box with a pocket full of sunflower seeds. And that's kind of one of those very Ukrainian things that they've been doing to the troops, is like the elderly grandmother comes out and is like, yes, if you come here and you die here, we will put sunflower seeds in your pocket. So when they grow, we know where you're buried. And I'm sure the Russians at that point are like, oh, great. Yeah, that's really what, we wanted to deal with here. Some pissed off grandma who's like really, really not happy with us. Hang on a second, I'm messing with the focus again. I'm sorry, YouTube guys. But, they now have to deal with, the pissed off grandmother saying, this is how it is. And if you screw with us, we're simply just we're going to hand you your ass, and you're going to be in a situation where you're going to have to sit on a hat to wear it. So that's where they are with that one. And some of the stuff I've been seeing come out, I cannot begin to tell you how epic they are. Like there's this one t-shirt I actually posted on my timeline, and it's Joe Kaka and Horizontal Harris standing in repose, and both of them have rubber clown noses on, and on the t-shirt it says, elect a clown, expect a circus. Well, this is kind of where we are with that one. Supposedly Joe Kaka's polls have hit a new low before the State of the Union. Stand by on that one. But for that, his approval was only, scant, like 30 some odd percent or something. But his disapproval is like 50 some odd percent, 52, 53% or something. It's huge disparities now. And this is only in his first year in office. Excuse me one second here. No sitting president has ever lost that honeymoon thing within the first 8-9 months of office, kind of like he's done. That's just unknown stuff. So it's gotten to the point where even, some of the Democrat governors are now turning on him. This one coming from patriotjournal.com. Democrat governors have turned on President Biden, just admitted a reboot is needed for frustrated voters. Translation, please don't kill our election chances because you're kind of running down the party right now. And that seems to be where they are, and it's just not even funny. So what's happening? It's no secret Democrats are in big trouble. This year, midterm elections, those elections determine the House, much of the Senate. Countless state and local elections, the balance power can shift dramatically, and all the polls show the Republicans are in the lead. Well, it really shouldn't be anybody who still has a heartbeat couldn't see that one coming. But the failures are piling up from Joe Kaka, hurting the rest of the party, add to the terrible leadership of Democrat governors who locked up their states for years, closed schools, and hammered families and businesses with mandates. But instead of just recognizing their own part in disaster, these governors expect Joe Kaka to reboot and save them. Folks. Democrat governors and gubernatorial candidates are expressing deep anxiety over frustrations with their party, as well as President Biden driving fears of potential losses in the elections this November. No kidding. Quote, Democrat governors and their allies are expressing deep anxiety over the political conditions facing the party as President Biden's approval rating slumps in a year when 36 governorships are online, including some of the nation's most important battleground states, the piece read. I could read further, folks, but man, you want to talk about just it's sounding really just how would you say this without saying this? It's sounding very much just like yeah, they're they're just flopping over. Because they're looking at their potential chances and they're seeing Joe Kaka in office and they're just screaming.
And things suck.
Yeah, I know. Bill O'Reilly nailed it on that one. But anyway, so the governors are now freaking out, trying to salvage some means of not getting hammered. But oh my stars and garters, wow! You want to talk about somebody else that's polling very, very not so good right now? We're talking about 81-year-old denture and knuckle grinding Nan. That's right, knuckle and grinding Nan. Nancy Pelosi is sent spinning by her news poll. The speaker is viewed unfavorably by most American voters. Okay, well, she's probably maybe marginally popular still in San Francisco, but that's where she's from, okay? She's not representing the entire United States by saying that she represents, the entire United States by being a person from San Francisco in the Bay Area of California. That does not expressly state that gives you full credence and makes you have the entire amount of gravitas to do the kind of crap that she's been pulling. So, this one coming in from Patriot Journal. Despite previous promises, Nan Pelosi is running for another term. Remember when she said she wasn't going to do that? The win seemed to be against her, as evidence suggests Republicans could retake the House. Now, that would be a hell of a thing for you would have potentially Gavin Newsom getting booted out, other key seats being taken over. But even if they don't take the seats over, man, they are rats off a sinking ship in California right now. People are leaving. They are leaving the blue states. I mean, they're leaving California in huge numbers. They're leaving New York and New Jersey in huge numbers. And they seem to be relocating themselves into red states that are just nicer to live in. Lower tax rates, lower crime, better schools for their kids. I mean, it's just how things work in the scheme at large. If you basically take a place and you just if you just break it, people are thinking about it long and hard for, maybe let's move. And they leave. So, let's see. Scroll. Pelosi can lose her majority and her gavel after this year's midterms. Yet the Democrats are increasingly supporting the radical left, still seem to think that she should be the one in charge. Oh. So what the American people think? Pelosi has wasted her speakership by dividing the country. She's impeached Trump twice. She supported Biden's Joe Kaka, his failed agenda, and ignores the many crises hurting our country to lead her to J6 commission. Yeah. All this has mounted to very bad news for old Nance. So anyway, Rasmussen. A new national telephone and online survey by the Rasmussen Reports finds that 37% of likely U.S. voters have a favorable impression of Pelosi, including the 17% who have a very, very favorable view of the California Democrat. 60% of the voters view Pelosi unfavorably, including 50% who have a very unfavorable impression of her. So the new poll by Rasmussen reveals only 37% of voters have a favorable impression. Staggering 60% of Americans view her unfavorably, including 50% of folks are very unfavorable view. Well, break all that down. This is worse than even Joe Kaka's numbers, who has among a 55% disapproval among voters. Wow. Okay, she's the face of the House. She is the Speaker of the House. So essentially, if you look at the way things work, the House really holds the purse. However, the Senate holds the Supreme Court and holds the ability to maintain whether somebody is worthy enough to actually attain a high office or will not maintain a high office. So she can keep impeaching Trump time and again, 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 and keep on going and going and going and going and going and going. It literally is the same thing as being arrested 20 times for the same offense, but every time you go to court, they go, nah, he's not guilty, or nah, we, mistrial, or nah, we don't see enough evidence, or yeah, we're not going to charge, we're not going to see the charge as worthy. So literally that's what that is when you impeach somebody and the Senate goes, nah, we find him not guilty. So Nan, denture, and knuckle grinder. And man, I don't know who really identified what the heck she was going on. But that whole thing was she was sitting in the background doing this thing, man. Everybody was like weirded out going, dude, are you tripping on Molly? I mean, and that wasn't even like a good part of Joe Kaka's State of the Union speech. But oh, my stars and garters, she was just dancing around like somebody stuck a remote control toy in her favorite parts and turned it on. Let's give me 1 sec. This was an interesting little stat. Also coming in from conservativefighters.co. Biden's State of the Union polls lower than both Trump and Obama. Dude, I could not watch Obama speak. As a matter of fact, I very rarely could watch Trump speak. I mean, the State of the Union is pretty much we're going to blah, 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 and then we're going to this, that, and the other thing, and then we're going to this, that, and the other thing, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and then we're going to keep talking about all these other things. And, of course, everybody who's in the audience is, or just kind of, the parts that they don't like. The only way that you really can watch the State of the Union speech, I'm pretty firmly convinced, is you would probably need to just kind of tune yourself up a little bit there. Yeah. you probably have to tune yourself up just a little bit to sit through that thing and just, enjoy it or contend with it, all right? Because it's just a long, drawn out, and at times where you notice that it drags, man. It drags. So the majority of Americans who watched, 71%, did have at least a somewhat positive reaction to the president's remarks to a joint session Congress. However, according to CNN's instant polling, of those, 41% polled said they felt very positive about Biden's remarks. Okay, let's break that down for one very simple little thing here. CNN has almost zero audience at this point. It could be said that, Fox got a hold of CNN and yeah, I think Fox had its wicked way with it, okay? So CNN got a little bit of Are you done? Jeez. All right. So anyway, yeah, CNN got pretty much rogered. Yeah, got rogered. So anyway, looking at things as it is, they got righteously rogered, and apparently the situation they're in is they got really, really rogered. And now, when they say that they have all these numbers that they're willing to quote, that's a small, scant majority of people. And I really, truly am not impressed by saying, oh, CNN's polling shows this, that, the other thing, and blah, 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 blah. So I'm really not impressed in the slightest. Whenever they start doing this whole, we are the pantheon of all virtues, this, that, and the other thing. You know us to be completely on the up and up, and you shall have this, that, and the other thing. And that's not the news source of which I trust, because there is other much better people, now past, but much better people who I would really stake the reputation on, knowing his numbers were better than their numbers. Yeah, Russia's numbers were always good. I don't know what my cat's doing over there, but he's being obnoxious. Anyway, so let's see. Scrolly. Do not use this website. This is going to be one I want to let you guys know about most clearly. Do not use this website. And it's called Extreme with an X, not an EX, but extremebroker.com. And I think they're playing on the fact they're trying to say they're somewhat similar or akin to Gunbroker. But they had a guy try to buy a firearm online and have it shipped to his FFL. And they said, oh, no, you have to use Zelle or PayPal. Well, if you guys know anything about the industry right now, PayPal really doesn't do anything firearms related if they can avoid it. Or if it's something blatantly obvious, if you try to do something firearms related, they may not allow it to transfer. So anytime you deal with anybody in the industry, they say, if you're going to do PayPal, it has to be a charitable PayPal. So anyway, look at those things as it is. The situation they're in is this guy basically did a Zelle payment. They never got back to him. So he tried using all the contact information. Scant. Not good. Phone number was wrecked. Basically went to nobody. Eventually tried to get a hold of somebody. And, of course, he looked at his bank. And, yeah, he did get gigged for the cash. So extremebroker.com. Don't have a single thing to do with them ever. It is fake. Let's see. Scrolly. I don't know if you guys caught up on this one or not, but this one is exceedingly interesting. And it might be one of those situations where you almost really have to understand the sourcing on it. But this one's dating in February 24, 2022. And it says, interested parties from Molly Murphy and Brian Stryker. And it's what the hell is that one? Regarding taking the win over the hang on a second here. I got to do this correctly so I don't get gigged. Okay, hang on a second. I will find the appropriate sound effect. Hang on a second here. Okay, so we are talking about getting the Chinese Communist COVID viral infection. I don't know about the shot, but they're talking about taking the win over the Chinese Communist COVID viral infection. So the VID 19. So that's what we're all on board now, okay? Whenever I use the phrase the Chinese Communist COVID viral infection, we're talking about the VID 19. So, quote, after 2 years of necessitated lockdowns, travel bans, school closures, mask mandates, and nearly 1 million deaths, nearly every American finally has the tools to protect themselves from this virus. Yeah, it's called herd immunity and acquired immunity from either getting it or getting the Chinese Communist COVID viral infection. Yeah, so one way or the other, you're not able to contend with, okay? It's time for Democrats to take credit for ending the Chinese COVID viral infection. Yes. Crisis phase of the Chinese Communist COVID viral infection war. Point to important victories like basically getting the kablooey, bang, distribution and providing economic stability to Americans and fully enter the rebuilding phase that comes after any war. If this is a war, we basically knuckled under and we lost everything. Below, we lay out some strategic thoughts for Democrats position themselves in the Chinese Communist COVID viral infection. After nearly 2 years of the planned Dem ick. Declare the crisis phase of the Chinese Communist COVID viral infection over and push for feeling and acting more normal. Thanks to Democrats, we are nowhere near where we were 2 years or even 1 year ago. Democrats have the tremendous ability to claim an incredible historic success. They gave the bang hundreds of millions of people, prevented the economy from going into free fall, kept small businesses from going under, and got people back to work safely. None of those things have happened. In fact, it is a full counterpoint to the failure of the Democrat Party and their leadership to see where we are currently. Because of President Joe Kaka and Democrats, we can safely, we can't, C-A-N, cap, large letters, can safely return to life feeling much more normal, and they should claim that proudly. Recognize that people are quote unquote worn out and feeling real harm from the year-long restrictions and take their side, underlined in bold letters. Most Americans have personally moved out of crisis mode. Twice as many voters are now more concerned about the effect on the economy, 49%, than about someone in their family or someone else they know becoming infected with 24%. And there's a hypertext here. 2/3 of parents and another hypertext, 80% of teachers say that the planned dem ick cause learning loss, and voters are overwhelmingly more worried about learning loss than kids getting. 6 in 10 Americans describe themselves as quote unquote with a hypertext worn out by the planned dem mick. The more we talk about the threat of and honestly restrict people's lives because of it, the more we turn them against us and show them we're out of touch with their daily realities. Now, there's another page to this. Hang on a second. I gotta go back to something here. Okay, there we go. Acknowledge that. Hang on, I gotta go back to the page here. Sorry about that. Acknowledge that still exists and likely will for a long time. Okay, it is now out there. It's in the general population. It's all around the planet. It's airborne. We've all shared it. It's not going away. It's not going to be around for a long time. It's not going anywhere. It's here. Okay? Quote, we are not advising that Democrats talk like Republicans who have largely ignored the planned dem even pre to getting, the 44 Magnum shot. Declaring a return to the, quote, new normalcy, end quote, does not mean ignoring that people will continue to get it, that we shouldn't be responsible, we should turn our backs on the medical community that should be treating those sick and developing the therapeutics that save lives. Instead, it means recognizing the threat of is no longer what it was even a year ago, and therefore should not be treated as such. Shutdowns, masks, and lockdowns were meant to save lives when there was not yet a 44 Magnum shot. That could do that. Voters know we now have tools in the toolkit that is to be responsible in combating and living with the 44 Magnum shot and the boo Ted to minimize illness and masks and social distancing around vulnerable groups. Do not set 0 as the victory condition. Americans also don't think victory is 0. They think the viral is here to stay, and 83% say that the hypertext planned demic will be over. When it's a mild illness like the flu, instead of being completely gone, and a hypertext, 55% prefer that the be treated as an endemic disease. Translation, it's gone from being something that you couldn't control to something that everybody's gotten to and they're able to combat on their own. It's kind of pretty much how it worked anyway. That's what most Americans are dealing with, a disease with fatality rates like the flu. Sound a little familiar because they have no flu in any reporting agencies? Yeah, because most of us took the personal responsibility to protect ourselves and our families by getting the 44 Magnum shot. Americans will also assume they will get 77% agree that it is, quote, it is inevitable that most people in the U.S. will eventually get, end quote, and 61% of Americans who have never tested positive think they'll likely be infected over the next year. And thanks to the work Democrats have done over the past year, despite believing contracting is inevitable, most Americans are no longer fearful. I was never fearful from day one. I called it Bravo Sierra when Mrs. Dude was like, so, and I was like, it's Bravo Sierra. Gewok, appreciate you coming by. So Ghewok, appreciate you coming by, brother. So stop talking about restrictions and unknown future ahead. If we focus on how bad things still are and how much worse they can get, we set Democrats up as failures, unable to navigate us through this. When 99% of Americans can get the 44 Magnum shot, we cause more harm than we prevent, with voters going into our third year talking about restrictions. And if Democrats continue to hold a posture that prioritizes precautions over learning how to live in a world where exists but does not dominate, they risk paying dearly for it in November. Okay, so here it is, folks. What this is essentially is it's calling out the fact that Democrats have tried to scare the crap out of everybody, trying to make people do stuff that they didn't want to do, and of course, put on all the, the mandates and the better follow me's, or, you're going to get this and that and the other thing if you don't do this, that, and the other thing, because we're in charge and we're going to arrest you and blah, 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 and all the rest of that fun, happy stuff. So they're now realizing election time. This is the only reason why they're changing up the midstream. They're realizing in election time how prohibitively painful it is going to be if they keep tossing this stuff around and saying that you better do it or else. I don't know if you guys heard about this one or not, but the guy that basically did the Boston bombing, well, the Supreme Court basically just said, you know what, Thor's hammer, you, my friend, you are going to get more than a little bit of, well, you're going to get the, you're just, it's just,
that's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
Yeah, that piece of crap, the one surviving guy, they said pretty much, you're getting a death sentence. Even in Boston, Mass. Holy crap. Speaking of somebody who got the, thanks, Calvin guy. So somebody that got, can I at least say who it is? Anyway, so this report, this is coming from truthpress.news. The Security Service of Ukraine kills a negotiator suspected of high treason working with the Russians. So yeah, allegations of treason are flying after the Ukrainian security forces reportedly killed one of the country's officials working with Russia. Let me touch on this one real quick here. So essentially what it is they suspect this guy making backroom deals, and they like, you know what? Nah, not playing. So according to Ukrainian Pravda sources, the man was killed during an arrest attempt. "Quote unquote, strong evidence was that he was leaking information to Russia." Oh, jeez. Oh man. They were attempting to detain Denis Kiryev, a member of the Ukrainian negotiating delegation. The Ukrainian security service shot and killed him. He's suspected of high treason, and it's like one Huncharenko wrote on Telegram. According to Interfax, the Ukrainian security service had clear evidence of Kiryev's high treason, including telephone talks, and they said they were not sourcing his name. So there's obviously other guys that they're going to say, you know what? Yeah, we're just not playing with you, okay? You're putting it out there that you can work with the Russians, and you're putting this stuff out there and saying, oh yeah, we can be buddies. And no, it was not that one, okay? No, it was not that one. That was not what I wanted. No. I wanted to hear dude get well, that's a Mac 10. That's nothing really all that great. Hang on a second here. I know what I wanted here. Dude was gonna get taken out back, and it's like, you know what? 3 shots to the back of the head. And just for good measure, just to make sure. Just for good measure. He's not done enough. Oh man. I mean, I almost wanted to hear basically kind of like
Sarah Connor.
Yes.
oh
You
tactical reload even. All right. Enough of that one, okay? Enough. Jeez. God. All right. So anyway, I think it was safe to say that, dude basically got
you asshole.
Arnold apparently is having a really, really pissy day. All right. I think he's dead now, okay? He's done. Oh, Kyle Reese had to get into it too, right? Sometimes sound guy gets into the sound files and he just doesn't stop. Patron Fever, appreciate you coming back, dude. All right, so anyway, scroll. So that guy just got schwacked. Yeah, he got whacked. Okay, all right, that's good enough. He got whacked. So yeah, 35% of Americans approve of Joe Kaka. So it's just it's like the dog in traffic. You're just like, is that car gonna get it? 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 It's just running around, and before you know it, yeah, he's just gonna be. Yeah, he's just. Yeah, because when it comes right down to it, the name is. I like the fart at the end. That's cute. All right. So anyway, scroll. This one hit me personally and really, really cheesed me off a little bit. But I had a really long run of just that's just the way the runs worked. But I was not way north, but I was fairly north in the city, and I had somebody that ran me down to Dulles Airport. Well, it's like 70 plus miles one way. Okay, it's out there. And so they say essentially it's a 69-minute trip. Well, it's all highway, but dude, you're humping, man. If you guys know anything about the roadways to get to the Dulles Airport, which is actually in Virginia. It's like you have Washington, D.C., and then you have the Reagan National Airport, which is like just over the line in Virginia, like right on the Potomac, like just over the 14th Street Bridge. It's like right alongside the waterway is the Reagan National Airport. Well, if you need to go to Dulles, that's the big planes. That's really like the really, really national airport where you can get into the big planes. It'll take you anywhere without having to do layovers and stuff like that. But this guy wanted to fly to San Fran without a stop. Well, BWI didn't offer that service any longer, so he needed to go to Dulles. Well, and what I wound up doing was I put in 280 miles in 1 day of driving. And in the process of doing that, coming back home and refueling the dude mobile, my 2016 Honda Pilot, is $51 for a half a tank of regular. Joe Kaka, this is for you, buddy. Joe Kaka. You stinking turd of... Yeah, just... Joe Kaka, You suck. So scrolly. I don't know if you guys caught up on this one or not. This one, wow. And this is not like something that's like really desperately shocking either, but they actually did a poll. And well, first and foremost, you guys know me, and you know people of my stripe, and you know people on the other side of the aisle. And so it came out to be they actually did some polling. And in the polling, they found, well, that the majority of Democrats would flee the United States if it was invaded. Most Republicans would fight. Now, that's really not hugely demonstratively just, different or anything, but it's basically illustrative of, the party mindset. But the shocking results were results of a Quinnipiac university poll, which shows how Democrats and Republicans reacted to the U.S. was invaded. Now, obviously, it's a slow news day. Let's talk about something that gives credence to the mindset of the Russians. Just give me 1 second here. So anyway, the way it came out to be is essentially it is alarming a majority of Democrats would either run rather than defend their nation. And the numbers are just amazing here. 52% of Democrats would rather flee. The poll has a margin of error of 2.6 percentage points. So basically, 1 in 2 Democrats are going to run like a bunch of, I got this. I got this, sound guy. They're going to run, and I'm going to keep using this one, okay? They're going to run like a bunch of, they're just going to, because they're a bunch of, Only 40% of Democrats polled said it was state of fight. It was the lowest of all groups surveyed. In comparison, the majority of Republicans say they would stay and battle anyone invading America. 68% of Republicans say they would fight, and only 25% said they would flee. Among independents, and this is what I found very interesting, among independents, 57% would remain, 36% would run away. In Russia's invasion of the Ukraine, as it wages on, and I'm saying the Ukraine, excuse me, a secret Russian whistleblower dropped a bombshell on the war, claiming it would be, quote unquote, total failure for President Vladimir Putin. The whistleblower is an analyst with the Federal Security Service of the Russian Federation, which has opposed this bloody war. Russian FSB agent claims that Russia's chance of achieving victory in Ukraine are non-existent. Even if Putin's forces are able to capture or kill President Zelensky, the analyst says that occupying Ukraine would require too many resources from Russia. After reviewing the analysis of the situation, sources from the FSB confirmed it would have no doubt it would be written by a colleague. So that guy's actually being completely truthful here. The analyst compared Russia's mistakes to those made by Nazi Germany at the end of the Second World War. Moscow's quote-unquote starting position was akin to Germany's in 1943-44 when Hitler's chances of victory were collapsing on 2 fronts. Now, anybody that here knows the historical references of things, there's actually 2 ends of World War II. There's VJ Day, where we declared victory over Imperial Japan, and VE Day, where we declared victory over the European campaign. Now, there's another side of it too. The Russians are a bunch of hard asses. They really throw people in the meat grinder. They basically are really, really good at killing people left, right, and center. The Germans decided in their infinite wisdom, following a craven lunatic like Adolf Hitler, that they could basically take on the United States, take on the Brits, take on the rest of the guys who are siding with us, including Australia and bunch of other places. There was a whole group of countries which all chimed in, obviously, all chimed in and said, we're going to help you guys fight the Germans and the Italians and the rest of the Axis members. And the Russians are like, we're here, but if he comes further east, we're just going to hand him his ass. And that's exactly what happened. It became something as simple as smart as the Germans are, they try to take tanks, which were big, heavy ass kickers, into areas where the snow was deep, and the Russians built their tanks like snowmobiles where they really couldn't take as heavy a hit. What you doing, Rob? I get the dog here. Your face is all wet. Anyway, so they basically came charging into an area, got mired, and the Russians are like, okay, our tanks aren't nearly as hard ass, But if you put 20 of us on one of those tanks, eventually us pecking away will take it down. So it became a war of attrition where the Germans basically exposed themselves to so much just destruction, they couldn't keep up the fight because they literally just ran out of people and stuff. That's it. Another person in the room here, first time around, my Marty, or MRIT, one or I. Hi, dude. Greetings from Sweden. Very, very early morning here. Well, dude, I appreciate it. You come on by. So my Marty, if you wish to, you can actually watch this video. It'll be up on my channel in review, so you can watch it at your leisure. But I do appreciate you coming by and checking me out in the chat room. Good stuff like that there. It's really neat when I have just, people I haven't seen before or old subscribers going, dude, yeah, all cool here. So appreciate you coming on by. Good stuff like that there. So essentially what it is the Russians have the same problem. They're going to get mired. And like I bounced off you guys before, the Ukraine has tons of oil. It's got tons of natural gas. It's got tons of resources. And the Russian military is only like about 900,000 people. There's like 43 or 44 million people in the Ukraine. Okay? And I'm saying the Ukraine. So let me stop saying that. So there's 44 million people in Ukraine. If you simply go with simple attrition, and let's just say they knock down 3 people for every soldier that they kill. Do the math. You've only lost 3 or 4 million people. And I know only, but 3 or 4 million people versus wiping out the entire Russian army, where Putin's now going, well, hell, I need more Russian army, and starts trying to get people in there to start fighting. Eventually it's going to get to the point where those people go, you know what? I'm going to go into combat zone and I'm going to get really, really lazy, or I'm going to run out of gas, or I'm going to get stuck, or I'm not going to kill myself because you know what? I really don't have an axe to grind with Ukrainian guys, and we're pretty much almost brothers in arms because we're all stuck in the same meat grinder by this asshole in, Moscow. And there is other interesting intel coming out too. Now, I don't know if you guys noticed or not, but Putin, I don't know if Putin's married or not, but supposedly he's got a baby mama and he's got kids. Supposedly the baby mama and the kids were trucked off someplace to keep them safe. So if somebody was to find them and them really, really hard, yeah, I think pretty much Comrade Putin would not be happy to see the video where it's like, oh, okay, here's Mrs. Putin. We want to show you a demonstration of our new toy. Yeah, that would not be good, okay? So they pull that thing out, and oh, man, it would just be yeah, not good. Could be said that, well, hey, we could have been friends. We could have been compatriots. But you did something that brought great dishonor to the family. And in times like this, we have to even things out. We don't like to use means and methods in which we're going to use, but hey, it is what it is. So, it could be said, she came by for a visit. I guess she's not going home. All right, enough of that one, but let's just say that Vinny the Nose and Bobby the Ear might take her out back and, or Bob Ski the tractor driver, and possibly things might not work out so good. So, anything can happen in combat, and when it gets personal, yeah, it's just, Grand Theft Auto wasted. All right, so let me scroll. An over 2,000 word report added the Russian forces have, quote, no options to victory, only defeat as they continue to meet strong Ukraine resistance that experts believe has surprised many in Moscow, including Putin himself. It is said the number of Russians killed in Ukraine could already be over 10,000, a figure similar to reported Kiev officials, and far more than the 498 dead soldiers officially acknowledged by the Kremlin. The whistleblower also claimed FSB, basically the Russian successor to the Soviet Union's feared KGB, was being blamed for the failure of Moscow's forces to make significant progress in the Ukraine, despite being given no advance warning of the invasion. The report also said the Russian government lost contact with a number of its divisions, which had been sent into Ukraine, meaning they had no accurate death toll. Well, look at how things work in the Ukraine. If you get mired down and they get a chance to wax you, they're gonna be zapping you and they're gonna take off. It came from former Russian Foreign Minister Andrei Koryev, insisting that Putin is not quote unquote insane, but quote unquote immoral. He said the president believes his invasion is logical because he started to believe his own false propaganda that the Ukrainians are neo-Nazis. Now, I got to step in here for a second here. As much as I appreciate the Ukrainians and as much as I appreciate the Ukrainian culture for kicking the Russian asses, I got to be honest here. There is a very distinct stripe, band, call it what you will, of neo-Nazis in the Ukraine. Now, the kicker is those guys are around. However, it's kind of like that classic line, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. So I might be able to look over the fact they're going to go, hey, you're a Georgian. It's like, I'm not Georgian, but I am Jewish. They're going to go, what are you doing here? I'm killing Russians. What are you doing? They're like, yeah, we're not crazy about you, but you're okay for the moment. It would be kind of one of those type of deals, okay? Human rights activist and an operator of the anti-corruption website, Galagu.net, Vladimir Oshechkin, published a report on Facebook last week, according to the Times. Krista Grozev, an expert in Russian security services who works for investigative journalism team Bellingcat, has said he has shown the report to current and former FSB contacts, told him they had no doubt it was written by a colleague. Writing on Twitter, Grozev, I think it is, said that while his contacts did not necessarily agree with the assertions of the report, they were confident in its origin. Okay, if they're a bunch of Russian guys, they're not going to go, yeah, we're going to get our asses waxed, and we really shouldn't have jacked with them, and they're going to bend us over, and we're just going to get more than just a little bit more, well, how would I say this without say this? No, there is no snoo. They are going to get, yeah, there. It's just really.
But I pooped from there.
Could be said that, well,
Let's get ready to...
yeah, and it ain't rumbling. It's gonna be just, yeah. There is no no.
Death!
Absolutely no.
Snoo!
No snoo. No snoo. None. No snoo to be had. I think when it all comes right down to it, President Putin is going to be sincerely regretting the fact that he stuck his pee in that one and it got slapped.
You're despicable.
No, sorry, I'm going to call it what I call it. He's just, there is no. No, it's going to be bad. Okay, it's going to continue to be bad. It's basically just decided that they're just, yeah, they're not it. I don't know if you guys heard about this one or not, but if there is any gentleman ever currently seated on the Supreme Court, past, present, what have you, or was seated on there, yes, Scalia, gentleman, absolutely highest rapport. In realm of somebody of that expertise and that kind of just stature of just that guy, Justice Clarence Thomas, that gentleman, he definitely is one of those gentlemen that I find to be like a personal hero. And he's done something very interesting. He's asking the Supreme Court to reevaluate the big tech immunity under Section 230. So he issued a statement on Monday about the denial of certiorari in the Dell versus Facebook case. Let's see. Called for the Supreme Court to address the proper scope of immunity under Section 230 in the appropriate case. He narrated that it's hard to see why Section 230 is protecting big tech from liability for companies' own acts and omissions. It's hard to see why the protection Section 230C1 grants publishers against being held strictly liable for third-party content should protect Facebook from liability for its own acts and omissions, Justin Thomas stated. Here, the Texas Supreme Court afforded publisher immunity, even though Facebook allegedly, quote, knows its system faculties, human traffickers in identifying and cultivating victims, but nonetheless failed to take any reasonable steps to mitigate the use of Facebook by human traffickers, because doing so would cost the company users and advertising revenue those users generate. Okay. So under the certiorari, or whatever it is, I'm not good in Latin on that one. But anyway, what it was saying is essentially they don't get that protection under certain aspects, and truthfully, they're publishing. So they are not just something that falls under 230 at all. Oh, Patriot Fever. I bet Putin outlaws abortion just to get more bodies. Wow. Yeah, all I got to do is keep this combat going for the next 19 years. 19 years, man. I'm going to have troops out the Gazats, and we're going to be going. And oh, yeah, man, it's going to be great. Yeah, it's going to keep things going for 19 years. And, before long, we'll be just good to go. And, we could just have those guys cranking out, get them in the training, and it should be good to go. Yeah, that'll be fine. It's just, we got to get some people in, just a little bit more waiting around, and, we'll be good, okay? It'll be no problem at all. Just 19 years, keep the combat going. Before long, we'll just them completely up. Wow. Speaking of creepy individuals doing disgusting stuff, this guy actually was not on Facebook, but I posted the story on Facebook. This one's from truthpress.news, and ew. Biden backing Democrat mayor has been charged with child porn possession. Yeah. Oh, yuck. So former Oregon mayor donated to Joe Biden's campaign and collaborated with the Obama administration, has been arrested on child pornography charges. Dennis Doyle, 73, served as the mayor of Beaverton, Oregon from 2008 until 2021, and during his time in office allegedly unknowingly and unlawfully possessed digital material containing child pornography. The Department of Justice notes the pornographic content Doyle possessed between November 2014 and December 2015 included images defining minors under 12. Yeah, served as the city councilor for 14 years before becoming mayor, was a vocal proponent of combating climate change through pursuing green development policies. In an interview with Inside Climate News, he revealed he was pretty active in environmental activism in the 60s while explaining his decision to join the Obama administration Better Buildings Challenge. This North Beaverton became the first and only city size to join the Obama administration Better Buildings Challenge, which asked local governments companies to cut energy and water use in their buildings by 20% by 2020. Okay, I don't care about any of that stuff. Dude's a creepy old, and I cannot begin to tell you just how creepy he looks, but he's very, very creepy looking, okay? He looks like the guy who would be doing something untoward, and wow, just wow. There's a really, really kick-ass video I posted up on my Facebook page, and it's posting over from YouTube, but it's Sky News interviewing former Ukrainian President Petro Poroshenko. And I got to say, man, listening to this guy talk, he is the Benjamin Netanyahu of Ukraine, and I like him. I like him a lot. I would hope that he rallies the troops. And the other thing, too, is also, it was really, really interesting because the news chick is like, well, this, that, and other thing, and blah, 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 blah. And she's like prattling on with this very, very long-winded question. And the guy's like sitting there going, yes, right, yep, yeah, and speaks fluent English. I mean, heavy accent, but fluent English. Completely understood her, completely responded back in kind. No translation services needed. And the guy made really, really good points about, dealing with the Russian problem right now. I rather like him. I see him as the Benjamin Netanyahu of the Ukraine, and I wish him good service. This is going to be kick ass. He is actually a former service guy too. Served for 2 years in the military before he went to college. I don't know if you guys heard about this one or not, but this will never, ever, ever be another problem with state or federal issued voter ID ever. 10,000 uncounted ballots were found in the most populous Texas county. This coming in from truthpress.news. Election officials discovered 10,000 uncounted mail-in ballots over the weekend in Texas' most populous county after the first in the nation 2022 primary last week. That's all I need to say about that one. Another video coming in from the Sun. A bunch of Ukrainian guys sitting on top of the airport zapping Russian tanks with missiles. Wow. That video I was telling you about where the guy gets zapped in the copter, that was from The Guardian, also on YouTube. I gotta be very, very charitable about how to say this. So how do I say this without saying this? Okay, but the ask, ask a question, like, you're asking a question, so you don't get like, the Chinese covert viral infection. You're wearing a ask. Yeah. So the ask mandate. So Senator Paul is forcing a vote to end that mandate on aircraft. Oh no, you're stuck in a tube with 200 other people. Dude, you got a bunch of other people in restaurants. You got a bunch of other people in situations similar to that. You're not going to be passing it around that much more than any other social occasion. It needs to go away. Speaking of things maybe going away, no, sound guy, no. We're talking about Joe Kaka, okay? Joe Kaka. Joe Kaka. All right. Well, anyway, there was a poll taken, and less than 25% of voters believe Joe Kaka is mentally fit, healthy, and stable. Where do you even find that one? I had to hit the pause button on that one. It's pissed off, whatever it is. Anyway, I think I'm going to probably have to end on this one, coming up on like 10, 15 or so. I don't want to run the show too terribly late, but DeSantis has ripped a new rear air hole in some douche playing half-truth games. Local NBC affiliate reporter Evan Donovan in Tampa, Florida, was accused of pushing a false left-wing narrative to Governor Ron DeSantis. Ron DeSantis is not a wimp, okay? He's not a shrinking violet. He's going to tell you what it is, all right, man? So anyway, he said, Donovan began, quote, "Can I ask you about rights in education? What critics of call the Don't Say Gay bill is in the Florida Senate floor." DeSantis didn't hold back and immediately interrupted. Does it say that in the bill? Does it say that in the bill? I'm asking you to tell me what's in the bill because you're pushing a false narrative. DeSantis fired back. It doesn't matter what critics say. So the news guy's going, it bans classroom instruction on sexual identity and gender orientation, the guy responded. So DeSantis answered back, for who? For grades pre-K through 3? So 5-year-olds, 6-year-olds, and 7-year-olds? And the data, you wouldn't be honest about that. And the idea you wouldn't be honest about that, tell people what it actually said. It's why people don't trust people like you, because you peddle false narratives, DeSantis added. So basically it was like, oh, it's the Don't Say Gay bill. And the guy was like really snarky about it. It was like, no, why don't you simply say what it is? Oh, no, it's the Don't Say Gay bill. It's like, no, you're trying to give sexual education and inappropriate stuff to kids, okay? That's the only thing this thing does is it says in this age group, you may not posit these notions and try to stuff that in some little kid's head. So anyway, let's see here. I got to talk about this one. I got to talk about this one, all right? I have to, right? NBC, which is different than CBS only because they're not honest about seeing the BS. We're talking about NBC. Tells Americans to drive slower to save gas. NBC, we don't have the luxury of earning hundreds of thousands of dollars per year to defray your political agenda and propping up stupid electric vehicles when we have plenty of petrol-powered vehicles, which run cleaner than the manufacturing costs added to the ecology to make, transport, and build all the components for an EV world now. By the way, our electric grid will not handle a full EV fleet in the United States of 200 to 300 million vehicles. It is physically impossible for us to generate that much power and posit the notion for everybody to charge their cars up when everybody does, the simple recharge of going to the gas station and filling a vehicle with liquid fuel with an energy density of this, in terms of gasoline, being more than most of the battery packs out there. If you guys look at the BTU content of a tank of gas versus the energy content of one of those electric batteries, it's not even close. I my car to read fill the tank in under 5 minutes. Easily. So anyway, we're now at the point where we basically have to break off of this one, and I appreciate your kind attentions. Catch you guys next week and good stuff like that there, and I will move out smartly and continue doing what I'm doing, and I'll catch you guys next week. All the people who came to the roof for the first time around, I truly, truly appreciate your kind attentions. Do post this up. It will be in review up on Facebook and YouTube, and I'll catch you guys next week. Have a good week, and those of you who decide to hang out with Tuesday when you got many other things to do, I do appreciate your kind attention. You get a gold star for attendance, and I will catch you guys next week. Or maybe sooner. I don't know. I might do another video. I don't know. But I appreciate your kind attention. I'll bring up this one. So, eat good, keep tendering as always. You know it, you love it. And I'll see you guys later. Catch you guys. See ya.